30 days of whitetail, hopefully you've put one down, and if you have, then I'm going to give you a quick little tutorial here on field dressing, how I do it. A lot of times when I'm doing a whitetail, I'm just trying to remove the organs, get them back to camp, and then have some time to process them. So I do things a little bit different, but this is how I do it, and it's pretty quick and very clean as well. I've got a buck that I just shot, and when you're by yourself, it can really help before he rigs up if you tuck his arms up under his rack, just like that, to keep those arms there. Then from there, I get him on his back, and I will sit here like this, and I'm gonna hold my knee against here to keep them vertical. If you keep them vertical, you don't have the organs sliding into your blade, which can really help. Good knife, obviously. Now, I'm not gonna cape this deer, so what I do is I feel for where that brisket stops, which is right there. The brisket's stopping, and I'm gonna start my first cut on the brisket right here, just so that I'm not going too deep and cutting any of the intestines or the stomach. The longer you wait, the more he'll bloat up like this, especially depending on the diet. So again, I'm making this first cut on the rib cage. The rib cage stops right there. So I'm gonna make a small cut up just like that, and I'm gonna cut down until I feel that bone right there. Once I feel that, and I can get a little spot where I can get my fingers under, essentially I spread my fingers, and I'm gonna lay the blade underneath there and lift with my fingers so that the stomach and everything is separated from the skin that you're cutting. So once you get this little piece started right here, right there, you can then get your fingers underneath. Come on around over here. I'm gonna reverse. So I will make this first cut. On this first cut, you really want to just make sure that you're getting underneath what you need to cut and not into the tissue. So I'll go ahead and get this first part started right here. There's going to be some muscle, there's going to be some fat, but if you can cut that open just like that, get your fingers under, run that cut all the way down to the genitalias. I'm using my hand to push down on the organs, and I'm lifting up on the hide to right there. Now what I'll do is I'm going to come back around over here. You can slip right around to the front there. I'm going to come back around, and now the organs should be laying down, and right here where the rib cage stops, it's going to feel like a balloon wall. That's the diaphragm. You can feel that wall right in there, and what you want to do is you want to cut on the chest just a little bit, right where that sternum ends, to where you can create a little hole to where you can see inside there. Sorry, come back around one more time and just go close right down there. Here's the diaphragm wall. Normally it feels like a balloon right there, but you can see where I cut it. Okay, right there is the diaphragm wall. All right, now I'll go back around to the front. So once I've cut that diaphragm wall, now I have access to the front cavity where the heart and the lungs are. What I do is I'm going to take my hand along the top, and I'm going to kind of cut slightly. There'll be some tissue holding the organs. I'm going to go along the top edge of that, and I'm going to go all the way forward as far as I can on the neck. Feel for the esophagus as far as you can, and when you feel that esophagus, you're going to make a cut and slice it. And the other things you're going to want to do is on this diaphragm, pull the organs away and try to just trim that diaphragm along the side of the rib cage about halfway down. So right there, I've trimmed that diaphragm about halfway down. Now I'm going to reach all the way forward. I'm going to make these little bitty cuts that I talked about, which is going to remove the heart off the bottom of that cavity. Now I'm going to go all the way forward as far as I can, and I'm going to make that cut that I talked about. Okay, once I've made that cut, now I'm able to grab the esophagus right there. Okay, and this will be bloody, but now what I do is I actually put my finger and my hand inside of that diaphragm, make sure it's all cut off there properly, and I will put my finger in the esophagus. I'll grab those front organs and I'm just gonna pull them back, just like this. And if you've made your cut on that diaphragm far enough down, then you should be able to come straight out the back with all this, just like that. There it all is, it's all out. You can pull it to right here. I actually cut that. I leave the proof of sex in, and I actually do not fully open the pelvis right now, just because I'm going back home. I'm going to be able to properly do this once I'm home, lay it open and clean it out properly. This is just a very good technique to get the organs out, keep this clean, bloat free. It's easier to handle. Now what I'll do is I would tip them over, get all the excess blood that's in the cavity out, and he's ready to go back. You have proof of sex on the animal, which most places do want to see that. And again, once I'm back, I will then take this down the rest of the way and open up that pelvis to fully remove the digestive tract that is in the pelvis bone. Very simple if you do that. Start there, fingers up, cut down to the, right down here to the productive organs. Then you're gonna reach inside, take your knife inside, you're gonna push down on the heart and everything, get your way to that front esophagus, cut it, fingers in, pull it all right out in one piece. Easy to do, super quick.